Trey.
Well, I'll say it this way, that it's almost an ultimatum now, that there's no more negotiation at this point. You went back and forth with them. You gave them 2 weeks. And now they have to take the deal that you have offered them, that you tried to negotiate in good faith, or everything goes and the people can be liberated. Is that what's happening right now?
Well, that could happen if we want to keep going. And, you know, the deal is a very good deal. The problem with the deal is that it could be the greatest deal in history. They could wave the white flag of surrender. They could say, we surrender, we're finished, we've had it. The United States is the greatest power. Praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this. They could say it loud and clear, and the fake news would say it was a great victory for Iran. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We're killing them. It's killing them. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. You know, we're flying planes over the middle of Tehran, and they have no idea what we're there. We've knocked out all of their radar, all of their anti-aircraft. Much of their missiles, they have probably less than 20%. We think about 20%. Most of their launchers, they have the missile launchers, which are quite important. Their drone capacity is way down. You see it. I mean, it's way down. Their attacks are very minor. They're finished. And yet the fake news, just like with the election, the fake news is out there saying, wow, Iran is doing just so well. Trump is doing terribly. I watched it yesterday, one of the shows for 5 minutes. I haven't seen the show in a long while. This fake Joe Scarborough talking about how well Iran is doing. I'm saying, where do they come from? It's just the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, I will tell you, they won't even dispute it, although they probably believe the press they're getting. They can't even believe it. Yeah. And they told me, they said, it's amazing how well we're doing in the papers. We're not doing so well. They're negotiating with us to make a deal.
Well, Mr. President,
it's hard for them because they are proud. They're very proud.
We know that
They've been the bully of the Middle East for 47 years.
Yeah, they have.
They've been ripping off our presidents and other countries for years. They played Obama for a fool. The JCPOA is one of the worst deals I've ever seen, other than NAFTA, the NAFTA trade deal, which was maybe the worst deal ever made.
Mr. President.
But the JCPOA was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a road to no nuclear weapon.
Right.
They can't have a nuclear. It says you cannot have a nuclear weapon. We will not have. And I didn't like it. It wasn't strong enough because it said develop. You cannot develop. I said, no, I want buy also. So they fought me on that for a day, and then they agreed to it. You cannot develop or purchase a nuclear weapon. You know, so we got everything. But the press just covers it so crazily.
Don't worry about it.
No matter what I do, the press will say, it was a great victory for Iran. These people are great.
Mr. President.
It's Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, Mr. President, I agree with Brian. Don't worry about it. Our viewers are watching Fox, and so they see this coverage. They're not reading the New York Times. But we know that you've destroyed their air defense systems, their radar. Their Navy is at the bottom of the ocean. We know that we know that America is winning this fight. But when they destroy or they shoot down one of our Apache helicopters and we strike Iranian targets and then they fire missiles at our bases in Bahrain and Kuwait and Jordan, we have to fight back. So when you say you don't think America has the appetite to do what we're seeing tonight, I think we do. I think we're ready.
Single anchor. It's been great. You guys have been amazing. And Trey Yangster's a superstar. I mean, he just covers it so accurately. And I don't know Trey Yanks, but I mean, he covers it so accurately. It's so beautiful to watch. And he's got a level of excitement. It's amazing. But the accuracy is so good. I just saw him on your show a little while ago. And I said, that's exactly what's happening. I'm not saying I want the advantage or this. I just say that's what's happening. And that's the way it should be covered. And if it was covered that way, the public would say, wow, what a great situation this is. Because we are stopping a very evil nation which has killed thousands of our people. No legs, no arms, face obliterated. You know, what they've done with, the roadside bombs. Soleimani, who I killed. But Soleimani was their top general. He was a brilliant general, an evil person. But he was a brilliant general. He was a violent general. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. And they sent him up by the thousands. And every time you see a soldier without his legs and arms and beyond, that's Soleimani. So 95% is Soleimani. So I took care of that. And now we have Iran in a very... I guess the ultimate position. They have no choice. The only negative we have is we have everybody writing about it incorrectly. We have fake news.
But
that's what the term fake
my
news
feeling is like your strategy is like an anaconda. You're slowly you'll talk to them, but you're slowly squeezing them to death.
Yeah. I'm talking to them. Yeah. Hey, I'd sort of like. I'd like to get a deal now, less than 3 or 4 weeks ago, because once you do this, millions of people on both sides, millions of people. Nobody ever reported that. We've lost 13 soldiers in 2 wars. In Venezuela, we lost none, took over the country. And in Iraq, in Iran, we lost 13. In Vietnam, we lost hundreds of thousands, 19 years. Nobody says that. They say, you've been there for 3 months. 3 months. You know, they go crazy because I've been there for 3 months. I've decimated the country in 3 months.
Are you thinking
and
next?
No, they blame me, Brian. They said, you said you'd be out of there faster. Well, it's a much bigger situation now because we've done a better job than anybody anticipated you could do in such. Look, we were in Vietnam 19 years, and we didn't do the job because we didn't have the right leadership, to be honest. That would have been, if it were me, I would have had that war done in 3 months. 4 months.
But victory here would be total capitulation. And the one thing you brought up yesterday is it's going to be bridge and power plants next. Is that next? Yeah,
but I'd rather not do it because once you do that, the people suffer. Mm-hmm. Like I heard you mentioning water. Water is really a devastating loss for them. I could do that in 1 minute. They knock out.
What is your message to the Iranian people?
But the problem is the people won't be able to drink water. I mean, what are they going to do?
But what is your message to the Iranian people? Mr. President, they now have the internet.
Well, my message to the Iranian people is they're afraid. Because they have no guns, and the other side has guns. And they have a rally, and they get shot. They hung the wrestler and his 2 friends. They hung him from a crane, believe it or not, violently. He was a very top wrestler. And they hung him. They've killed at least 40 to 50,000 people. And the people are afraid. You know, when you have a machine gun staring you in the face, or when you have 4 snipers on 4 different buildings shooting.
So can you get them weapons, Mr. President? Can you get them weapons?
Provide air cover?
Well, we actually sent them weapons, and we were very disappointed by the Kurds, to be honest with you. The Kurds let us down. I disagreed with the decision. You know, I was saying, no, I don't believe they'll deliver them. I think they kept them for themselves. I think it's a disgrace. But I'll remember that, Kurds. I'll remember that. But they have some guns, but, you know, they don't have the weapon. Look, even if they had some, they're petrified. Because this is different. This isn't like in this country. If you shout at, you have a vicious group of people rioting someplace. If the police shout at them, they end up ruining the policeman. You know, they ruin him. They take away his badge. They take away his
in Iran, they give him a medal.
His life, his pension, his everything. They take away his car.
Mr. President?
It's slightly different. Over there, they shoot him, and the rallies dissipate very quickly, as frankly, I think it's pretty normal.
Why won't they
very rarely can that happen because it's there are not many countries. China was one that was able to do it in Tiananmen Square with the tanks. That tank operator, boom, rolled right over them when they went in front of the tank. There are very few people that can do that to their own people. In other words, the tank operators didn't. With Erdogan in Turkey, they were unable. They tried to pull something on him. He's a friend of mine. He's a very strong leader.
And Mr. President,
they were doing, and the tanks could not do it. They could not run over their people.
We only have a minute left, but will there be more bombing tonight?
Yeah, there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be bigger. But the papers, the media refuses to write it. They're finished. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place. They're finished. And the media is crooked. They're just like our elections. The media is crooked.
Mr. President, thanks so much for joining us today.
Mr. President.
Everything on your
plate. We appreciate it.
It's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's amazing that keeping the enriched uranium is worth all of these strikes to them, to the regime. If they just gave up the enriched uranium so that they can't make a nuclear weapon, then President Trump would stop bombing them.
What's their ideology? The radical Islamic terrorism. This is not an anti-Muslim war. You saw the president within his first 6 months go to the Muslim Arab world, bring them to the negotiating table. They're the only ones that don't want to play ball. And so their hope to unite the Arab world is now against them, not for their cause.
And they aim at the Arab world.
Yeah.
Because they can't touch us, and they go for our bases. And I think we're ready, and I think the president is slowly squeezing them. Take Cargill, and they can't get oil in and out. And there's risk because you have to put people on the ground.
That's the problem, Ainsley, because the president is deliberate when there's American troops' lives on the line. And I think that's the thing.
That's what he cares about most.
Continues to wrestle with.
Is that why there's a hesitancy about taking Cargill?
And I think that Roger Wicker and these other senators who make it clear, the American people like to win. And if you can provide a win against the most evil nation that have been targeting us for 47 years on behalf of everyone who's lost their lives and limbs, they would...
Political commentary and talk shows. Its programming includes programs like Fox and Friends, The Five, Hannity, Gutfeld, and Jesse Waters' Primetime. Political stance. It is widely recognized for its conservative editorial perspective and is often identified as having a pro-Republican and pro-conservative bias. Platforms. You can access Fox News content through television, available via most cable, satellite, and streaming TV providers. Apps. The Fox One app and the Fox News app provide access to live streams, on-demand videos, and breaking news alerts. Online. Their website provides news articles, live streaming options, and radio content. Fox Nation, a subscription-based streaming service offering original shows, documentaries, and specials. Ways to watch: Depending on your region and subscription, you can stream Fox News via the Fox One app or through the Fox News website. There are also bundle options available that combine Fox News access with sports and entertainment content. Note that international viewers may need to use the specific Fox News International service, as some US-based streaming options are restricted. This video provides recent coverage from the network regarding international news developments.